नमस्ते, प्रणाम, शुभोदय, मंगल प्रभात। आदरणीय महोदय, स्वागत। गुड मॉर्निंग होली स्पिरिट, गुड मॉर्निंग होली फादर, गुड मॉर्निंग होली सेंट्स, all messengers of Abraham, all saints, sages, all rishis, munis, all sadhus, all yogis, all gurus. Allahu Akbar, आधा वर्षी, माशाअल्लाह, इंशाअल्लाह, अस्सलाम अलैकुम, अस्सलाम अलैकुम, माशाअल्लाह, इंशाअल्लाह। वरुधिनी एकादशी, पारना, एकादशी 11th day. Vishnu's festival is celebrated in different periods of the time. So different recommended practices to get over the difficulties pertaining to a particular period. The second next day called Parana, frankly, which is meant for yogis, which is meant for those who practice vairagya, not for a householders. Householders only one day. A householder even not upholding a dharma of a sannyasin or a vanaprasthashram, one is not eligible to practice the parana. It's not about simply staying fasting. The one who maintains fasting for all the 5 sense doors, 5 koshas, all antakaranas, fasting, vairagya, emptiness. The one whose life one can see that there is no desire, there is no desire for the food or visiting a places or entertainment, etc. A natural state automatically that comes is called a vairagya. Otherwise it's called a purity vairagya, smashana vairagya. That vairagya is not called a vairagya at all. If you really practice at the 5 kosha level, the methods of the fasting, that is what yoga is all about. Following a pramana, automatically your life becomes a choiceless. Your life becomes pramana based, standard based, for one to stay healthy. One doesn't even get attracted towards any of those pleases the sense doors, but that pleases the soul, that conserves the prana, that conserves life of the cell, protects the life of the cell. One only cares about that, nothing else. Even a few days one maintains, few days, a occasional cheating or you call, in the name of a festival or in the name of a function, one is inclined to even taste them. all our forefathers or grandfathers, the matured one, if you have seen, you would see all this naturally. They really grew with the age grew very matured. The life and the struggle for survival, growing the children, feeding the children itself so difficult. Forget about sending to the schools. That itself. They have grown much beyond their age. Now, even at the age of 70 years, 80 years, the way we conduct, because of excess feeding at all levels, very childish behavior, holding a stick, wearing a half neck, going around in the streets, a 70-year-old, 80-year-old, and trying to be conscious of what his body is, or his hair is, or his grooming is, or his dress is, shows a peak of a maturity. A wealth has come, or a well-to-do, doesn't mean that growing matured. Like today, as if you never saw the life, or no, you never saw the materialistic life. Today the life is Vairagya, is having everything. Like Satchidananda Saraswati Maharaj, born with the silver spoon, the one who ate in a silver plates. One fine morning there was awakening in him. He doesn't even know whom to follow. He's the first guru, he's a Tantra guru. Then he realized it's all about powers. What his family as a zamindars, or a landlords, a rich people, born in Bihar. What is the difference between this power and that power, spiritual power? Then he went to Rishikesh. He inquired by then about Satchidananda Saraswati, Shivananda Saraswati Maharaj, and joined him. Understand? There is no looking back. What is a Vairagya? What is a choicelessness? What is love for all the gods? What is a love, compassion? What is like an ashram? He has experienced a broad-mindedness of Swami Shivananda. Understand? All our lifestyle, our oxygen consumption, our calorie consumption, which are directly proportional. Either you can count in terms of calorie consumption or oxygen consumption. Your food you are consuming so much means your oxygen consumption is very high. Now, whoever consumes more oxygen means more maintenance, more disease, more stress. Very simple, the fact is. Mitaharam, yuktaharam, the one who is modest with respect to the food. Number one. Number two, yuktaharam, a food fulfilling all your functional requirements, not exceeding the quantity. Especially today, all our work is related to the brain, right? The days of working with the body, feeding the body, robustness of the body as a tool to work and for survival, all our forefathers lived. Other than Brahmins or Vaishyas. They always lived for the brain. Anything that takes away the memory or aggressiveness, because brain functions when it is a cool, a karma, a desire. Any negative emotion, you can experience memory loss immediately. You won't be able to recollect when you are highly emotional, when you are highly angry or fear. Any of the negative emotions of Arishat Vargas, Kama, Krodha, Moha, Matsarya, understand? Lobha, understand? A non-vegetarian as an input promotes, what it promotes? It promotes aggressiveness, testosterone. It is designed to build anaerobic mechanisms, not aerobic mechanisms, fight and flight mechanisms. It reduces the length of the neuron. Those who led the life using the brain, so-called Brahmins or Vaishyas, their neuron elasticity is high. Unlike today, the communities which are completely indulgent of the high carbohydrate now never indulge. They are always emaciated. Only one meal a day. Even that meal, a proper protein. It is only for the brain they ate proper carbohydrate. Why fasting? Because whatever the enzyme they generate by fasting, only one meal a day, they are in a position to recycle the entire dead protein mass, 600 grams every day. An adult loses protein, that is a death, that is equivalent to all the cells' death in the body. What can recycle 600 grams completely is your enzymatic health. It is the fasting is to restore the enzymes for the robust metabolic performance. With the bare minimum carbs, your brain functions brilliant. Ready to consume. Brain needs carbs. Of course, its cell membrane needs like any lipids, healthy lipids. Its structure is made with the lipids. But the fuel of the brain cells are only carbs. Unlike rest of the body in the night, uses, if you have a deep sleep, depends on the quality of the sleep, it uses fat as a metabolism in a zero resistance, very efficient mechanism. The most efficient substrate of highest efficient way of producing the energy, 471 ATP. If you sleep well, your rest of the body. So that's why at night hardly there is no need of much food, frankly speaking, because a sound sleep is all about a little every 1 mole of this, 1 gram mole of a fat molecule. How much we have in the body? Produces 471 ATP, enormous amount of energy. If there is no sleep, proper sleep, improper sleep, you are again consuming a carbohydrate. When you are in a rest state, even during the daytime, your substrate What should be consuming is your body has to be a ketogenic. Your body should be consuming a fat, not carbs. That's how an athlete performance is checked. Otherwise, those athletes at the rest state consuming still a carbs indicates the resistance in the body. That athlete can't sustain his game for a long time. It just his graph of performance just goes up, falls down quickly. Understand? What is being a vegetarian? What is being a one meal a day? What do you mean by an ekadashi or a fasting? Understand? Followed by, that's how the food has to be for a Brahmin, for a Vaishya. Then how the activity has to be? They're Sattvic. What do you mean by a Sattvic? There is no inertia in them. There is no jadatva in them. What's born in the universe in a Big Bang is moment of inertia. Inertia is the first born, and then the Big Bang. Then the Big Bang. What's born is inertia, jadatva, tamasic. Heaviness, like gym goers and all, you can see the heaviness in them. Just looking at a boy today, looking at a girl, their shape and their form. The other day my wife we attended with our daughter's convocation program. They don't look like students, graduates. They look like mothers and fathers, their shapes, their forms. Mothers and father, mother of it, like 2 children, 3 children, they look like. The heaviness in the children, they don't have that quality of vidyarthi or a student supposed to have. How lean, how light they should be, how heavy they are. What are their weights? Very few. I think maybe it's more than 3 days. It's a big institution, and thousands of students getting graduated. I'm saying hardly maybe 100 or 150 students must be lean in that, male or female, like male are like bulky, like gym kind of the muscle, and the girls, so a huge bum, a huge heavy bodies and bust, etc. How much they use to their brains, carbs, means an efficient, a Sattvic person, if you lead a life, how much carb you need. But their personalities have shown. It is not about the performance. The performance is like a sport car, not like electric car. A Brahmin or, a Vaishya means a 1 meal a day is like electric car, and engine efficiency has to be. Only one time you charge. No sound, silent. Which one functions? Which gives the highest level of mileage. Like a sport car, consumes so much for all their performances. You can see how much they consumed, how much at these elite institutions, gates, so because gates are closed, outside the gate, so delivery boys waiting to deliver the parcels, breakfast to, lunch to, and much more supper. You will see all delivery boys of all the food delivery companies, at the doorstep of the hostel, because they are not allowed, so the girls waiting all the time, so tracking the movement of the guy, waiting, so joyous, collecting the food. Exam time, more stress, more consumption like that. Practically, I have seen all this. Otherwise, why I would tell you? Because people get confused between what is Sattvic. Sattvic is, do you have an inertia? Do you feel very heavy? Your personality looking at your body, the tension in your body, the tension, the tightness in your body, your movement of the body will tell whether you have a inertia, means cohesive force, a strong cohesive force, like a whisk, so the binding energy, the tension in the body you can see. You can make easily how, though body looks, it is a protein body, whatever you call, body looks in shape, but you can see how heavy the body is. Body worshippers, asuras, which consume the more food called asuras. They also focus. Ravanasura and all. So they are the powerful with the more powers. But the difference between a Vasishtha kind of a Sattvic to them is the consumption. They do fast, but when they break the fast, how much they eat? So they focus, high quantum, consume so much. Understand. Sattvic, agility, freedom in the movement. The lightness, number one. Number two is, they are always in the movement. A Sattvic person can't sit. Yes, always he is in the movement, even while performing a yajnas and all. How active they are, you see, how active their body movements are. What a presence of mind they have. Movement, like a Swiss precision movement. So a small movement, enough for mitochondria to multiply, for robust, for the robust brain performance, for the robust health performance. You ask anyone will tell you it is a mitochondria. The more mitochondria, more healthy you are. The most healthiest metabolic substrate is the mitochondrial population will tell. All today's diseases is a depletion of the mitochondria. Our cell filled with the debris. And all our physical activity, what we are choosing, is killing the mitochondria further, only building anaerobic mechanisms. It is not a metabolic power, running, etc. It is all about metabolic capacity. Which metabolic capacity? Metabolic capacity is all about mitochondrial capacity is infinite. Any anaerobic metabolic capacity that is built upon bulky muscle, it is a very limited fight and flight mechanism, that all that energy required. Morning he goes to the gym, by evening completely discharged like a killed, so like a hen hanging its neck, lifeless, a lifeless hen, hanging its neck. All these people who eat chicken, morning like this, by evening, again so much food is required again in the evening for their neck to stand and for them to have energy, for them to have some positivity. It is available on YouTube for free on my channel, right? Basic fundamental aspects, Sattvic. How free your movement is, or how resistant to free your movement is. What a freedom in the movement is. Only always in the movement and the freedom in the degree of the freedom in the movement. It is all zero resistance movement, highest quality. These are called Brahmins. These are called Vaishyas, whose food is vegetarian. That little milk, that little fat, that little protein, their enzymatic health is so high, completely they can use it. Their metabolic, their microbiome gut health is highest. Have they ever died of any disease? Did they have any diseases, this class of people, in the past? Now, what do you mean by a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian? Or what do you mean by our caste to die? How conveniently we use, isn't it? I only told about inertia. Yes. A movement without any resistance, full of mitochondrial health, bare minimum input, maximum output of energy. That's called a Sattvic. A Rajasic, a Raja has a gym, a king has gym. Rajas means consumption. He has to maintain a fire. Brahmins have to maintain a fire outside. He has to maintain the fire inside. That's only the difference. The one who consumes more, the one whose movement is having tightness, resistance, whose consumption is high. Rajasic. Rajas. Understand. Sa Ekadashi Parana, the second day. Continuing fasting is for whom? Does your personality show that you are eligible to practice? Yama niyama and or must. It's not for the one day, it is for your life itself. You're like a sannyasin. Though you are living, it doesn't matter what the age is. What was the age of a Vivekananda? What was the age of a Brihu? What was the age of Nachiketa? What was the age of Prahalada? What was the age of Shankaracharya? What a wisdom, what a maturity. A maturity at the age of 5 years, can you imagine? That's why they are the prodigies. Understand? That's why we say, Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Param. Understand? Varutini Ekadashi, Parana. It is a special Ekadashi. To give a charity, It tells, the one who Varutini Ekadashi, giving a horse is superior to giving an elephant. Giving a gold over the horse is superior. Giving a sesame is much more superior than the gold. Giving a daughter, growing a daughter in a cultured way, like a Vidyadhari of Tripura Yoga Rahasya kind, and giving her off without any expectation to a suitable boy. Is called Kanyadana. Dana means once you give off, no expectation, no taking back. People have forgotten. In every wedding, people do. Kanyadana, it is a part of now. A wedding ceremony called a Kanyadana. But people have forgotten. Once they have given, means she is a slave to someone. Parents have no role to play. Absolutely. Once you give off a money to one is without any expectation. Number two is Nishkama karma, karma phala sannyasa. You are not interested in anything. You have just given. There is no second thought. That's called a dana. How many parents have done a true Kanyadana? Today, our lavish weddings, our now, the elaborate, so like Hollywood style and like movie style, engagement, videos and photos, and then for the drama, wedding, then drama, reception. It was all full show, all the video teams and so screens, LED screens, online. So every day, parents talking to the girl from India or wherever, the girl, how are you? Once you are given dana, once you are given up, what are you doing with my money? How are you money? Where are you? You are given, you dropped a note, a currency in the temple. Right? You are given enough. In the hundi you dropped. There is always a box kept in the church area, so you can drop without identity. That is the highest, that is how the dana has to be done. You drop, not revealing your identity. So we should give. It mixes with any other currency. So where my currency note, how my currency note, whether it got, and so whether it is there or whether it is torn, how long it lived, how it is, the currency. Because this body is compared with the currency. What is Kanyadana? Simple facts. Kanyadana is the highest charity because womb we grow. Of course, we should grow her. Means her estrogen has to be completely healthy, full of love. A girl, a full of love, robust estrogen doesn't consume anything, cares everyone. Estrogen is called a love hormone. Testosterone is called aggressive hormone, stress hormone. Science. You are giving off a love to someone. Doesn't matter what her life is, but she is going to only love. That's what we have seen our great-grandmothers. Doesn't matter what grandfather is, what vicissitudes of the life, ups and downs of the life, she never lost a balance of her mind or her love, her care, her compassion for everyone, for the neighbors or anyone, even for, with whom husband doesn't have a terms also. The ladies come. That's what a female is. Love. What you are given is, what you are giving is a love. Is there a highest dana than that? Entire Himalayas practice only love. The mantra of Om Mani Padme everywhere inscribed. Understand? All their winters they sit. They chisel and hammer all the time. So they buy the slabs at their own cost. And at the end of the winter, they all in the village temple or in the middle of the roads where avalanches possibility is there. So they construct a pole of love. So your vehicle has to go like this to stay protected. Every monastery will have a pool of these pools of love. What is Kanyadana? When elder daughter married, I told my wife, We are giving her off. That's it. If at all further you want to give, you are not giving it to her, you are giving it to that boy. That's all. Because she is no more ours. We can't even say she is our daughter. We can't even say because, you see, Satya Harishchandra has given off his son, his wife, sold as a slave. When she came to the graveyard with the dead body of the child, who are you? Who are you? The stories are not for convenient. They convey enormous amount of practicality, the values which this land boasts. We are manipulating that vocabulary, the sanctity of those words. How bad it looks. Understand. Today is a day supposed to have only brass utensils. One has to use only copper utensils. And brass utensils like this. That 10 rules to follow. So, better to start. Our channel is a traditional yoga, right? If we don't talk basics of traditions, what's the purpose of yoga? Is it to build Rajasic movement or Tamasic movement or Sattvic? Gunatit, Gunatit. To go beyond three. The goal of yoga is not even a Sattvic. It is to go beyond. That simple the definition is. Understand? Many people think it is Sattvic. You know, 3 gunas are doshas. As per the Vedanta, all 3 gunas are doshas only. It leads to again existence. There is a consumption. Less or more, there is a consumption. No consumption, complete conservation. Zero consumption is what a yoga is all about. Zero stress is a concept of yoga. Zero resistance is a concept of yoga. Understand? Very simple. The contemporary yogas, what we practice. This yogi doesn't have any inertia. He teaches yoga. I have seen the West. They teach yoga. Ashtanga teaches 15 years, 20 years. They teach 1 year bending the body. So I'm coming back in their room, participating in a competition. The coming back room, the back. I have seen that Mr. Paul from Wales. When he came here, invited him to teach, Ashtanga Yoga, who teaches there. So, Every day what I normally teach, because I called him, he's a specialized Ashtanga. When he taught, oh my God, full of, next day couldn't come, full of pains, his body. Understand? He's a very good person. Paul, I always used to refer him as Saint Paul. Wales has that special quality in UK. One of the oldest terrain, isn't it, in UK? You will find a lot of similarities, India and going into those countries like Wales. One day you teach yoga, conduct, and next day, after 10, 15 years, you are not in a position to teach because the body not cooperating. You have used the body completely. It has developed enormous amount of resistance. Any small movement, body is a fibromyalgic, it has become. Wear and tear is so high. After 15, 20 years, what happens? One has to see today's your practice, whether it is building you or whether it is killing you. Only time will tell. Understand? Haven't you seen a soldier serving in the army? And how quickly they retire? Once they retire, what a hell of problems they have in their body. How old are they? They are just young. Lifelong, you see, the tension in their body and the problems, the wear and tear in their body, the tightness in their body. So invariably, the health parameters are no way good. Understand? Is your yoga practice making you consume less? Yes, today Varutini Ekadashi, one more thing. Cereals not supposed to be consumed. You know that? Varutini Ekadashi. Cereals are not meant for Brahmin sign because they are the brain irritants, gut irritants they are. Therefore, only Rajasic, those who use the body in order to keep their carbs in control, they need that kind of diet. Yeah. So today, if you are a Vaishnavite, I am telling you, or you are following today is also Dvadashi, means Paridosha Vrata, Ma Parvatis, Ma Durga, Ma Kali, a day to wash off, to clean our doshas, any doshas done, any aparadhas done. Today is the day to wash off those sins. For this entire 1 month, whatever we have doshas done. So today is also day to wash off those sins, maintaining the fasting, etc. So, Kanyadana means when you are giving a daughter, criteria is you are not supposed to give the daughter to, like in those days, Vaishyas to Vaishyas, Brahmins to Brahmins. Should not be given naturally to a cereal eaters because they are the aggressive people. The one who consumes the cereal, their daughter should not be given. Means they are not using the brain. They are physical oriented, body oriented personality. Now, phytotoxins, phytic acid, plant toxins, toxic proteins. So much research papers are published. How dangerous they are. How, so only a morning to evening, the one who is laboring can have that kind of strong gut. Otherwise, already gut microbiome project says our gut microbiome is no way healthy. All diseases because dysbiosis, disturbed gut microbiome. And now, cereals, already our children are hyperactive. You are hyperactive. You are aggressive. Irrespective of age, now older, much more aggressive, much more quickly losing the temper. Now cereals. Okay, you can consume the cereal. Have you removed the phytotoxins in them? You remove all those phytotoxins and then consume. By simply converting into the flour or anything, phytotoxins are not removed. Any of the cereal, it is to protect itself from the weather, heat, because very less water they consume. They dehydrate basically. Already we are using the brain. Brain needs a lot of water. Brain heats up the more you use. Now further you eat, rice cools down. Rice consumes more water, 4,500 liters. For 1 kg rice, 4,500 liters. 4.5 liters is required for one cereal to produce. 4.5 liters. When you consume this, what is the amount of the dehydration in the body? Already we are dehydrated. No sense. So have you removed the toxins that are dehydrating? They are very highly toxic. Lectins, lignins, the bad ones, good ones. Then how to process them? How is that your cereals are removed? How to do that? It's a big business to die. Go the cancer hospitals anywhere. You will see lean personalities there. Ask them why they have. Many of them will tell, I followed a naturopathy, I followed cereal diet, I followed keto diet. Ask those doctors in the cancer hospital, they will tell you. The one who used to now following 7 years, 8 years. What happened? These very toxins produce cancer cells in the intestine. Do you know that? Unless until you are using the body morning to evening. Have you ever seen a Brahmins, Vaishyas consuming a cereal? Only Kshatriyas consumed. Understand? Because today is a Ekadashi, There are like this, the things to follow today. Why it is? And no fasting day cereal, even one meal. It is condemned actually. If you want to be a Sattvic, it is condemned. It has to be scientifically processed. At least nowadays, if at all, if you want. Control your sugar, etc. To control sugar, protein, a good protein is good enough. Which control the sugar, not the cereal. It is the amount of the carbs. Yes, of course, you can go for red rice. Excellent. There is nothing, even no cereal is equivalent to a red rice. It is proven. My childhood, my grandfather used to cultivate red rice. Gottu biyam. Red rice. Even today I consume the red rice in my lunch. My lunch is red rice. Little bit red rice. My carbs is, overall, if you really look at, very little. My whole food consumption, carb consumption is. Yuktaharam. I meet all my requirements. Surapanam, like gods, the angels. Asurapanam, no asurapanam. Sura. Only nutrition, poshakaharam. I consume, I source what my brain requires, what my body requires. The amount of the food, yes. What your body can handle, only that much. That's the basic principle of longevity. Understand? So, it's time. Physical yoga, since I came online, everyone teaches the physical yoga, isn't it? At this age, even to teach a physical yoga, like anyone else, how you treat, what do you think, sir? What's the difference? He's another yoga, a good yoga teacher, you will say. Yoga is all has become asana, isn't it? You have forgotten what is the meaning of asana. What is asana? Asana maye. Asana means stiram sukham asana. What do you mean? Asana. This is graph, no? X-axis, Y-axis. This is zero called. You go this direction, you go this direction, you go this direction, you go this direction. They are consuming. Directions of consuming. This is called body of center, your body of center, or conservation. Here there is no consumption. Zero consumption. Zero resistance or zero consumption. As you move towards the center, conservation. Asana means moving towards the center. Moving towards the conservation. Conservation of oxygen, prana, or whatever you call. Body movement is to conserve, to make it efficient. Conservation is making your engines efficient. Less fuel, more energy. The very meaning of asana, that is the definition. Sthiram, sukham, asanam, yes. As you move towards the zero, more stability. Understand? No consumption, more stability, more happy. Anything that is balanced. Zero is absolutely balanced state. In any other direction, it is an unbalanced state. Sthiram, samam, sthiram, sukham, asana. Samam, x direction, y direction. X this plus direction, minus direction, y plus direction, minus direction. Samam. So your balance pointer is at the center, zero. Always your body or a mind, consumption should be zero, irrespective of the load, irrespective of ups and downs of the life, irrespective of the load. The training for that is called asana. At the physical level, everything, entire training of yoga itself is that. Yoga is merging with the zero, union. So that is accomplishment. These are the tools: purification, langhanas, kriyas, karma, shat kriyas, shat karmas, asanas, pranayama. At different levels of the koshas we are working. Different tools are required. The goal is very clear. The goal is to conserve. Understand? So when you do yoga, is it a movement of consumption? Is it a movement of conservation? Just in why yoga is done only this much. This is called mat. This is the length of your body. Not even a width of your hands. Body of center, BOS, that is called center. Entire yoga is to conserve the energy. The movement to conserve the energy towards the center. Whether it is a standing posture, whether it is a sagittal plane, or a frontal plane, or whether it is a transverse plane. Our body is divided into three planes. Where they merge, zero. Whatever the moment, postures are divided into three planes: sagittal plane, frontal plane, transversal plane. Your movements have to be either in a sagittal plane or in a frontal plane, or your movements are in transverse plane. Is movement in your sagittal plane towards the center, where the transversal plane is meeting, that's called center of mass towards the center of gravity. Entire sport world, an athlete, kinetics. So whether you play tennis, whether you play volleyball, at one level, so you have to go to kinetist. You have to go to exercise physiologist. So the kinesthesiology, kinetics, is all Newton's laws of motion. So now you have powerful cameras, camera capture softwares. So all that video, so while playing live, so video of a cricketer or any game today, so when you feed it to the computer, the software will analyze each one of your movements. Wherever the conservation is not there, it will point out all the wrong movements of consumption. It is all science. It is all, it checks you are a javelin thrower or an archer or you are a golf player or you are a marathon runner or you are a sprinter or you are a weightlifter. Today it is all professional. If you do not know, if you want to join your child in a sport, first get the kinetics of your child movement when he started playing. So, your coach, based on the assessment of the kinetic motion, kinetics, so he can correct him. So that becomes a habit. Very, very important. In the beginning of the sport itself, if you can make your movements get corrected to conserve the energy, what the output of your sport performance, every small parameter, it accounts. Whether you are a gymnast, whether you are a high jump, long jump, whatever it is. The sport world, the science of the sport has gone to that level. In a country like in India, there is no exercise physiologist at all. There is no kinetic expert. That's why the Indian government has to engage for this Olympic, who won. So this championship, so a German coach. And actually the German coach further recommended another coach for the kinetic analysis because that coach is not that specialist. Then he corrected his movements. That's how he could win an Olympic medal. Otherwise, he said, impossible. You look at, that's what? Sthiram sukham asana. What is consumed? What is taxing? What is not in the movement? A movement not in conservation is taxing. That athlete is taxing himself very quick wear and tear. Wear and tear is nothing but not respecting the kinetics of a movement. Center of mass. So why a sprinter, so it goes like this. Why? Without that, can any sprinter win starting like this, running like this, in this position? At sound of a bullet, you look at center of mass, they keep close to the center of gravity for maximum amount of acceleration. Understand? Quick accelerate, turbo engine. So, turbo engine, highest amount of oxygen consumes whenever, so a vehicle has come and suddenly it has to pick up. So, a turbo engine which is designed to consume the fuel at once, which is designed to consume more oxygen, a double, triple quantity. The sport cars, nothing but they have turbo engines, like aeroplane engines. Understand? So compress the air for quick performance. More oxygen is consumed. Understand? To jump start, because an athlete is at the inertia level. Then he has to go to acceleration, he has to go into Rajasic and then Sattvic. A bicycle, so he is on the seat like this to keep his center of mass close to the center of gravity, nothing else. Is there any cyclist that can win any game, sitting straight on the bicycle, So can he win in a cycling competition? Or without bending the body, a rowing competition? Just asking you. Though that the world of the consumption, then how sophisticated yoga is. Yoga talks about actually zero consumption. There is a, even you conserve in that movement, there is a consumption, any sport. But that resistance or that is not respecting the directions or the planes of the movement, taxing an athlete. For him, deliverables is important. Understand? For us, deliverables is important. For us, it is not even that level of consumption allowed. There is zero consumption. Understand the science behind yoga, basic fundamentals of yoga. Understand? Resistance is how much resistance required? In yoga we have kramas for the heart how to function. Heart, you ask anyone, you have to work in which plane? Sagittal plane you have to work with the heart, or you have to work in a frontal plane for more efficient heart functioning. So-called cardiac exercise. How the heart cardiac exercise should be? Should you pull the heart in this direction or should you pull the heart in this direction? Should you pull the heart in this direction? Or should you pull the heart in this direction? Which direction? Understand? It is as simple as that. That's why in yoga, Sustikrama, that works with the heart is different. That works with the heart cells is different. That's called metabolic power, because heart has to pump entire blood circulatory system. So only one pump, more than 75,000, 95,000 based on your weight, a 60 kg body weight, 75,000 kilometer blood circulation pipeline. The heart is tiniest pump has to pump at a pressure. It is a pressure pump. It has to maintain the blood pressure of 120 by 80. So that even a small capillaries like in the brain, even the small capillaries, so the circulation should not be missed. That's why the pressure is required, especially for the brain. So to equalize, to get over the effect of the gravity, dark matter, dark energy. Heart is designed. Heart thickness is designed. So the thickness is too fat, problem. Thickness is too lean, it is a problem. So heart endometrial lining is a very, very important factor, especially the left ventricle chamber, the very, very important, in which direction you are expanding. The left ventricle chamber volume decides your output ejection fraction of the heart, your heart efficiency. Where your cardiac exercise is increasing, that chamber's volume or not. Or is it your exercise is thickening the heart chamber endometrium lining? Like in the gym when you lift a weights or a high resistance when you do, a sprinter heart versus a ultramarathon runner, a heart, a huge difference in its anatomy, in structure, the sport designs. Understand? An Olympic, a heavyweight champion, his heart has completely shrunk. That is the lowest size. The lowest size a heart is made That's why invariably they have to live on forever. Pills, blood thinning pills too, so heart pace maintaining, pacemakers too, everything full of drugs required for them. You want to prepare your child? Never prepare your child to be a sprinter. Never prepare your child to be weight champion, lifting the weights. You are killing him. Understand? For us to work in the desktop, in front of the desktop, we need brain, we need robust circulatory system. Your heart has to be free. Your heart has to be robust. So the heart always moves, designed to move only in this direction. So in yoga, Sushtikrama, cardiac exercises, that keeps your metabolic power, good enough metabolic power to meet your entire metabolic capacity. Metabolic capacity in yoga is to build mitochondria, aerobic metabolic substrates, not anaerobic metabolic substrates. So, movement toward the center, resistance, free movements are minimal resistance using your own body weight, your own arms weight, your own legs weight, your own body weight. That is good enough. You don't have to lift a weight. Good enough. So weight based, a gentle resistance based, to conserve the energy, to build, to stretch for an eccentric stretch. So mitochondria builds only in one stretch. Anaerobic mechanisms, so when a compressive stretch or isometric, if you apply the force from the two ends, more resistance, that develops anaerobic mechanisms. If you pull, take a balloon, you pull the balloon like this, it will build mitochondrial cell, a cell designed full of mitochondria. Eccentric stretch builds more mitochondria. For heart to function more, ask any cardiologist what kind of healthy heart cell. It is all about eccentric stretch, not a concentric stretch. Eccentric stretch, pulling this end, Entire yoga is pulling in both the directions. So that to conserve, to maintain elasticity, basic purpose is to build how much amount of arachidonic acid release. All the regulating mechanism of a cell, it all starts with the kind of the rupture you are doing, the kind of inflammation you are doing, the kind of stretch you are doing, the way the cell membrane you are rupturing decides the shape of the cell. That's why in yoga, how to go into the posture, how to come out of the posture, how to enter into the posture, how your movement is, these are all the small things only matters. It is much more advanced, it is far advanced, superior, sophisticated fitness system, a robust system. Are you at that level of competence to teach or a practice? Just asking you. Today anyone can do cardiac surgery, isn't it? Or you go to a cardiac surgeon with 45, 50 years experience, or a just young surgeon just passed out having 12 gold medals, you just go to him for your heart surgery. Asking him if you have to go for a heart surgery. Or if you have to go for sport coach or a sport, if you want to choose, given an option. All these Olympic stalwart coaches or stalwart exercise physiologists at Olympic level, how old they are? What is their level of experience? Those who write, so the articles for this Olympic Research Committee or the members of Olympic Research Committee, what is like their experience? How long they have been in that field? So learning yoga has to be from a yogi, or learning yoga has to be the one who is bending the body in the circus like an acrobat. Is it an acrobat show? So the one who is jumping like a monkey, or the one who is lifting the weights like anyone. So a young surgeon, so he is best, He looks good, he jumps well, he holds well, he has strength to hold the knife, isn't it? Skill is not required. Yoga is a skillful job or a skillful sport, or most skilled one or a unskilled one. Just to you are taking your vehicle for maintenance. He is going to shape your cells. You are keeping your hardware in someone's hands to shape it. Like in the surgery, you hand over that part to the body. You are handovering yourself to the surgeon, whom you trust, and you choose only experienced one. Here in yoga, the one who is supposed to design your cell, your hardware, and what pramana, what are you watching on your YouTube because you given for free? Whom you follow for your fitness? Is an Olympic medal champion, or is an Olympic medal level not champion? Is he a coach? Or is he a coach is not actually exercise physiologist. He is an exercise physiologist, kinesiologist at the Olympic level? Is that whom you are following for your fitness? Just asking you. If that is so, in yoga, why Gurukulas? Why you have to find a guru? Guru means the one who has not experienced anything. Acharya means a PhD, much beyond. In Himalayas, only they are eligible to teach. In Himalayas, only Geshes, Acharyas, Acharya Nagarjuna, you say. Where we are going to Himalayas for the retreat. Nandapada, Naropa, Chilupa, Pada, Tilopa. This time, where we are going, the legacy of them, the one who have given the technologies of the great Kala Chakra, how much they are adored. The land of them, where the Kala Chakra, etc. revealed. Understand? So, you have to learn yoga from a yogi, or you have to learn from a yoga from a bogi. It's just a physical exercise. Or a rogi. Are you sure? From whom you are learning yoga, is he not a rogi? Maybe he is young. Right now he is not a rogi. So that's what this guy is doing, what those guys. So that kind of yoga, whoever did now last 20, 25 years, observe them, no? So this guy is going to be one day like that. Can't you sense? Then why you want to hand over your hardware to him? You want to end up like that? You want to build mitochondria, or you want to compress your cell and build anaerobic mechanisms. What are you doing in your fitness? What is your goal? For you to use your brain morning to evening, you are stressed out because of the brain work. Today everything is related to the brain. It is not the body. So the entire concept of yoga is to work for the brain, use the body for the brain, train the body for the brain over the body. But is your fitness is making a macho man? What are the shapes? What is your oxygen level consumption? What is your calorie consumption? That will tell that you are taxing your brain. You are not working for your brain. Anything that works for the brain, your fitness, is conserving the prana. Eccentric stretch, more mitochondria it should build. Okay, so what is your rest heart rate? Okay, in the night when you sleep, so what is your heart rate touching? One is consumption, one is consumption of the food in the day. Another one is rest heart rate. Both are important because otherwise as an athlete, consumption is very high calorie, but in the night rest heart rate is less because his VO2 max. But for a yogi, consumption is less, but VO2 max is high. His rest heart rate is low. So whose heart is more efficient? Yogi's heart is more efficient. Even that whose VO2 max 27 also, he can't meet the demand of the metabolic capacity. Only he can meet working muscles requirement. Much more efficiently it means. But yogi, his metabolic power always excels than the metabolic capacity. Because metabolic capacity, a yogi has infinite. So he has so full of mitochondria, needs very less blood supply. Very less blood supply. That is the most sophisticated, intelligent system. Building a robust metabolic capacity, meeting all that metabolic capacity. So with the efficient metabolic power is a yoga system. All other systems are building a metabolic capacity, limited building capacity, and compromised metabolic power. What limits the athlete performance is metabolic power. Simple. What unlimits a yoga is infinite metabolic power. The amount of the metabolic power required to meet his metabolic capacity, the amount of electricity required, charge required to charge his battery is very less. The amount of the electricity you need to charge your battery is very high. Simple. That's what an athlete versus yogi. And at the end, whose charge is highest? Yogi charge is the highest. It's morning to evening. And this fellow charge very quickly discharges. It consumes high charging and very quickly discharges. What is yogi's charge? It requires less charge and contains so whole day 24/7 full of charge. Post exercise oxygen consumption or exercise is absolutely robust. Oxygen conservation is absolutely robust. Understand? A yogic way of building the muscle, Rakshana Krama called, strength based, resistance based. Which resistance you are applying? In which direction the stretch you are creating? Number 2. Third, yes. Then once you achieve this stress, then So, these stretches and everything, Rakshana Krama, based on alignment and balance. Planes, sagittal plane. You have to respect the planes. Like kinetics, you have to analyze your body movements. Today, software is available. Whether your posture is consuming or taxing, conserving. That's called Shikshana Krama. You have to go under expert, a guru, so to get corrected your movements. Simple, So if you keep your hand like different, if you keep your hand different, if you keep your hand different, if you keep your hands different, if you keep your hands different, you want to release your deltoid muscle, for example. You want to free the deltoid muscle. So you want to move the hands like, so you have to move the hands like this, or you have to move, so you have lifted the hands like this. What are you working? Are you working on deltoid muscle, or are you working on a tricep muscle? It is a tricep muscle stretch, it is. Keeping hand like this. Suppose now you move your hand like this. It frees the deltoid. You see the difference? Now you move hand like this. See? So you feel a stretch here. Your tricep. Now you lift your hands like this. Like this. Now you have a neck ache. You have a neck ache. You have cervical problem. These days, because you are sitting all the time in front of laptop. Whether you have to move like this for your neck exercise. In the parks now, everywhere, people will be doing this. Tight shoulders, to loosen the shoulders. Why are you doing this? Tight shoulders. Huh? The same movement you do like this. It frees the shoulder. Tight, you have tight shoulder? Tight shoulder is naturally tight deltoid, pulse, tight trapezius, tighten the trapezius, upper trapezius. So tightened trapezius tightens the neck oblique muscles. Tightened neck oblique muscles won't allow. So the neck to move like, oh my God, makes the neck stiff. All our present jobs do only that. Our posture is like that. Morning to evening we are applying. All that loads are not in line with the body structure. So, tension, load factor, stress, everywhere the points of stress is created. So, the continued stress, the continued loads causes tighten, fibromyalgia, tightening the muscle. So, what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to free that. To free the deltoid, different. To free the trapezius, different. First is, you should start. You have a neck problem. First start with this. This movement. And then free your trapezius. How you will free your trapezius? Is this over? No. Further, deltoid freeing. This should enable further how much you are freeing it. Now a little bit it frees the trapezius too. And your scapula too. And then the trapezius. How to free the trapezius? So this part, neck obliques are there. So you should lift your shoulders first, once you free it. Because if the shoulder is down, your arm weight is pulling down, the tightness in the trapezius. So you should lift first your Trapezius, free the trapezius. Whether you are freeing the trapezius front or back, only back. Or lift your shoulders like this. Lift your shoulders like this. You see my shoulder. Easily moving or not? My neck moving. You see, now I am trying to rest my. It forms a groove. Once you form a groove, you move your neck. It doesn't cause pain. Suppose your weight, you are one side you are hanging the weight and other side you are trying to move. Simple. Even years together you practice, your problem will not be solved. Because you have not understood. What is the Shikshana Krama? Ajyatmika Krama. All this what for? Removal of tension, zero resistance. So what is the great deal? So everything, why? So how free your body is, free, Talasana Varga you call. Like this. Respecting your entire spine from bottom to top. Working along. What do you call? Working along your latissimus dorsi, your sciatica, working along your spine. Your spine goes as a sciatica down, right? So freeing first. What is the controlling? The main thing. Freeing your complete spine, ankylosing spondylitis you call. So freeing completely. So your movement has to start from your ankle. Lifting your, facilitating your sciatica, lifting your heel up. How you are positioning it. Very important. It's not how much yoga you learned. Or you do it, very, very small things matters. How your knee moves in. This is what Olympic medal champion makes for his sport. Understand? Everything is connected. If at all, if I picturize you, if I do your kinetic analysis, my eyes will do. Forget about software. Nothing will be. Every movement is highly taxing and consuming. Then I will tell you better not to do. Because you are doing more harm by doing this. I will simply tell you. That's how doctor will tell, you do some exercise, for because you have a diabetes or something. And next day onwards, you yourself decide your exercise plan and you go on walking with your friends. Is your walking in line with the exercise principles? For your vehicle also, why don't you do the maintenance? For your car, why you want to give it in expert workshop? So you can do your own surgery. Every surgery videos are available. So on YouTube. Yeah, all medical surgery is available. Why don't you look at it and why don't you perform your own surgery? You yourself, your wife, both are software, no? So tell her to watch it and do it for you. Each one of you can perform heart surgery. What is there? Everything is available on the YouTube. Why hospital required? Everything, including anesthesia procedure, everything. So do it yourself. Everything is available there. When I watch my students practice videos, you won't grasp. Understand? What you are freeing? What a relief, sir. For my sciatica. Huh? You have to analyze this portion. You observe my portion now. You use sophisticated kinetic software, check. It will show perfect. You show your posture. It will show full of resist, full of wrong. Nothing will be in alignment, I will tell you. No Shikshana Krama in your movement. Practicing, zero resistance, everything comes. Automatically comes. See the movement. Vairochana. Vairochana. They are the stalwarts in Himalayas. The yoga keepers, traditions of yoga keepers. Whenever you do the yoga, Vairochana, posture, means observations. Lochana means your mind observation. Inside, your mind has to observe your feet, your knees, your this, and your shoulders, your hands, your elbows, your shoulders, your neck, your head. Vairochana. Things to observe, things not to observe. Your toes, your foot, your knee, your hip, your waist, your hip, your waist, and then your shoulders, in which direction they are, how their orientation is. Elbows, hands, wrist, and hands, fingers, in which direction they are. And then your neck direction, then your head direction. These are all the things to be kept in the mind. Understand? Very simple. Today even you practice this much. Both the directions. Right foot perpendicular to the left foot. Inhale. Turn this. It is not about doing yoga. It is correct your movements. Correct your movements. It is not that I am another tutor, so making you sweat today. Or making you 15 minutes of practice. Give you a feeling of, I have done yoga. But every moment, my duty to educate you. So keep it like this. 45 degrees, 45 degrees. I just said it's all planes of consciousness. No hurry. Saptama The sound, Shruta Sampradaya, the sound itself, allows you to free. Understand? Ekam Dvenam Trenam Yaturam Panjamam Shadamam. Mind calms down. Your body, your cell responds to the sound. It is not you start saying, you are silent. Silence. Only a Guru sound that automatically comes down. Guru sound comes from 0th octave. Guru himself is a connecting sound. Only one sound in Gurukula, that is only Guru sound. Nothing else. It's not that you are not supposed to chant behind a priest, even in the temple or anywhere. You are not, even you know the chant, you are not supposed to. Your Shruta means only your job is to hear the sound of the Guru, that's all. Remember. Where I should say that your ego which says, you can say, or you can sing, you can do. The coaches. So, how the Chilupa, how he trained his student, how he tortured his student called Naropa. How the stories you must read. Chilupa's story, Naropa's story, Milarepa's stories, Marpa's stories. There are so many. How a student should be in Himalayas. Shiva comes from Himalayas. These are all the great Vikramashila, so the great Nalanda. These are all the gatekeepers there. Understand? These are the people, stalwarts of yoga. Understand? Keep hearing. Ekam Dvenam Dvenam Trenam Yaturam. Feel, relax. Panchama Shadamam Saptamam Saptamam. Okay. Ekam Dvenam Trenam Chaturam. See my waistline. Shadamam Saptamam. How my feet are, how my thighs are, how my seat is, how my waist is, how my upper back is, how my hands movements are. That's far. This is how I can't tell because this is a free. We got this time a 1 month gap. 2 months. 1 month we go almost in Himalayas. A long trip this time. And lot of preparations required. Not easy. There is no tradition in the world that can conduct what we do. So lot of preparations required. All our volunteers in full throttle of preparations, enormous amount of the work. So for our YouTube audience, I thought I spend some time. Some of you may be very casually peeping in, peeping out. But some of you may be regularly viewing our sacred, so Vedic rituals, etc. But I thought, so some classes, few classes, though we have so many on YouTube, but exclusive to our YouTube, start off few classes, at least once in a week. But even our video team has to pack up. I think 1 week, so they have a schedule, a truck leaves this place. So then they have to load all the cameras and all, So until then, 1 or 2 classes or 2, 3 classes. So if the time permits, so we will have also the many students of mine, so whether the course is there or not, they are there, whom we love, whom we allow on YouTube always. Appraise the latest product. For example, now the latest product is, so protein has not been there for some time. This is what you call Sulakshana, but this is called Sulakshana Mala. There are 2 kinds you find. One is this, one is this. Both are a different purpose. You see the difference. They're all natural. See the difference. In Himalayas. So these are the things you will find normally in Tibetans in Himalayas. They use it. So these are the excellent garlands, a permanent, so for adoring the gods especially, for example, like this. Like this. Look at it. Why? What is this? For all the gods, why they are the favorite stone? If you really look into the intricacies of the design, it has all the shapes, all the forms of the gods, symbols of the gods. Each one is unique. Observe. Each one is unique. See. See the beauty of this. That represents all the gods. In Himalayas, these are the most adored one. Even the women, they wear it. But for all the gods like Buddhas and all, for the gurus, each one of them will have entirely unique pattern like a wood. But it's not a wood. Very sacred stone it is considered. For Vishnu or for a Shiva or for female or a male, it is called a universal. Sulakshana means which purifies which makes you realize the Vairagya, basically, which brings all the prosperity. Lakhana, Lakshana, which changes our guna, which bestows the prosperity. Laksha, Ana, in those days, a millennia ago. So these are available. This is the latest edition. These days we are not offering much because from Himalayas becoming difficult. This is the latest protein. People have been waiting. You have seen ginger had some problem, but this is the very good taste and very good, so smooth it is. That's why it took so much gap. Previous protein addition to now the protein addition of the oligoprotein. Now further we have gone down to 1K Dalton. Previous version is 2K Dalton oligopeptide. This is 1000 Daltons. It is much lighter compared to the previous version. You can see that. And when you use it, you will instantly feel lightness in your body, energetic in the body. The amount of lightness you experience is, so it's so clearly visible to you. Understand? So this is the latest oligoprotein, 27 peptide. Today or tomorrow will come. This is a Nidramrutam. I think it will be made available. It is right now, the stock is out, I think so. It will be made available. So in 2-3 days it will be made available, some quantity. Understand? I will switch back to our course participants. So thank you so much for all the YouTube traditional yoga subscribers. The next class we will have is, so today is a Friday. On Wednesday we will have one class, okay? So on Wednesday we will have one class. Remember, next class is Wednesday. So thank you so much for tuning in. Understand the intricacies of yoga. I took some time to explain it to you. That is the methodology of yoga or spirituality. It is not to criticize anyone. Understand? Love you all. See you again on Wednesday morning. Namaste. మనం